Hey guys, my name is Alex, and this is the 8th installment in my video project series thing, Kingly Endeavors, in which I intend to read every one of Stephen King's novels in chronological order, and to hopefully post a video a week about them. This week I read Cujo, and as you may or may not be able to tell, I am currently wearing a button-down shirt and a bathrobe because I'm an adult and I can make my own decisions. And making my own decisions kind of factors into my reading of this because I'm going to suggest that Cujo, if it's not the best novel that he's written up to this point, which is to say the early 1980s, it's definitely my favorite of the line. Now, what I think needs to be said is that one of the major arguments I'm going to make in favor of Cujo is that it's fast-paced, it's well-written, He's also employing some sort of stylistic trickery in order to make the book more propulsive than its predecessors. But also, I should mention that, as you may have noticed, my channel is called View from the Bar, my blog is called View from the Bar. I like sitting at bars. Not only do I like sitting at bars, I like reading at bars. I like reading with a beer, I like reading in sort of the bar scene where there's that sort of peripheral chatter. But for the past 2 weeks, I've been thinking, maybe I shouldn't be, sitting at a bar at noon reading. So for the past 2 weeks, I've been reading mostly at a coffee shop near the college where I work. But a childhood friend of mine recently started working at the coffee shop near the college where I work. Whenever I order a double espresso, he gives me a triple. So yes, I'm inclined to say that Cujo is like prodigiously exciting and fast-paced in comparison to his predecessors, but I need to confess, I was fucked up on caffeine while reading most of this book. A lot of you probably already know what Cujo is about anyways. It's about a 200-pound Saint Bernard who gets bit on the snout by a rabid bat and it contracts rabies. The first 150 pages are about sort of the slow deterioration of his brain, and then the second 150 pages of the book, it's only 300 pages, the second 150 pages of the book are about a mother, Donna Trenton, and her 5-year-old son, Tad. They get trapped on the lawn of someone's house in a desolate part of town, and their car is dead, and the St. Bernard, which is now fully rabid, is sort of circling the car and not letting them get out. It attacks them every time they try to. I was very surprised to find that I like this more than The Stand. Now, as I articulate it, it sounds like total bullshit, like it's not going to be the case, but I was just kind of reflexively thinking that all of King's subsequent books, except for the major works like Under the Dome or It or the Dark Tower series, they would all pale in comparison to The Stand simply because of its scope. Cujo, after Carrie, is the shortest book he's written up to this point in his career, the early 1980s. But I think that it's probably the best, or at least my favorite, for a few reasons. On the one hand, I'm obsessed with aging and sort of the hard truths that are communicated with each successive year of your life, whereas The Stand was just kind of like a glossing exploration of those very big themes about human life. Cujo is trying to communicate an idea that King has clearly gathered from living life. In the beginning of the book, the little boy, Tad, he's convinced that there's a monster in his closet. His parents don't believe him, but he's convinced. We, as the readers, know that there is a monster in his closet. The monster in his closet is the ghost of the serial killer from the Dead Zone. So Tad's parents are constantly saying, even though the closet door is flinging open and it smells like shit in there for no discernible reason, keep saying there's no such thing as monsters, there's no monster in your closet. But then for that entire second half of the book, Tad, the little boy, is trapped in this car with his mom while a veritable monster is roaming around, this sort of savage, rabid Saint Bernard, which, although we know that it has rabies, it's also kind of suggested that the dog is possessed by that serial killer from the Dead Zone, who in the first half of the book was inhabiting Tad's closet. And Stephen King, in all of his books up to this point, I think, has used this stylistic thing where in a single chapter, he bounces all over town to show what a number of different characters are doing within the same hour. He does that throughout this book, but also there's a self-awareness at the very end. At the very end, after all the calamity and all the bullshit has unfolded, one of the characters reflects on it all, and he goes, what were the odds that so many disparate events could have conspired to culminate in this explosion of violence and whatever? And that seems to me so profoundly true. Like, a lot of times you read a book and it reaches the climax, and sometimes you have to suspend your disbelief so high in order to accommodate the orgy of coincidences that led the characters to this particular event. But that's also life. Any great calamity or just any major event in human history, if you really follow it backwards, it's just this seemingly impossible matrix of coincidences that all of these people found themselves in a certain place at a certain time, bringing all of their baggage, all of their skills, all of their hang-ups, whatever. I don't know, to me, there was just something about that message at the end of the book that felt very honest and hard-earned, if that makes sense. But yeah, also while I was reading it, there's been some sort of familial turbulence that's whatever. It doesn't matter, and according to statistics, it's the kind of familial turbulence that more than half of the country is dealing with or has dealt with, so I don't feel totally alone with it. It's not catastrophic, but this book sort of illuminated my situation. So it's several hours later, and I went to work without cleaning up the confetti, and I don't know if you can see it all there, and then back there. Some of it got into a picture frame up there. It's on my desk. This is my dog, Mango. A minute ago, I caught him trying to eat some confetti, and I was like, Mango, don't be an idiot. Don't eat confetti. But then I was like, I'm the one who fired a confetti cannon into my bedroom. I really shouldn't be calling anyone else an idiot. Not only did I forget to film sort of the typical outro, I also forgot to mention that I picked up 2 copies of It. Because if I manage to stay on schedule, then it should be about 4 or 5 weeks that I start reading It. And just in the event that informally any of you guys who have not yet read It would like to read along, I'm going to have a small informal giveaway through Twitter. Yeah, so if you want a copy of It, I'm going to be giving away 2. Send me a tweet saying hashtag I would like to read it. And I'll choose at random 2 of you who really are interested in reading a 1,000-page book. So, thanks for watching. I hope it was worthwhile. My ears and head and neck still hurt from that confetti cannon, but anyways, constant reader, I'll see you next time.